I had kind of set my sights on I want to work and travel. How do I do that? I'm working from home. So I found a way to kind of meld the two in going to places where they're most of the time I will travel with I'm by myself, but I sign up for groups that are digital nomad groups or locations. So for instance, some of the groups they have locations all over. I just pick where I want to go. They set us up with a place to work, a place to live, and it's all other remote workers. So you're with like-minded people. You're motivated to work because they're actually working, and you learn tips and tools
Yeah.
and different things, and people from all different walks of life, areas of the world. And so I've made friends everywhere. And so I really enjoy being in those environments. I also go to co-living spaces where it's the same thing and there's this community of workers. You walk out and there's areas everybody's sitting there working, and that is very motivating. But it also allows me to travel the world, see the world, and have others to go do that with when I'm there making new friends or on my own, depending on what I feel like doing. I've really enjoyed Noma a lot. I've made really good friends through that. I do find interesting that the majority is women. It's mostly women that I find meeting um, in these groups. There are a few men here and there, tend to be a little younger, but I've met um, in these groups. I've been kind of all ages, but for the women, it's all ages. Men, they're there, but not as many. But I enjoy the connections that I find with the women and the people that are traveling. So I've enjoyed that. The other one is, so that's like a group where it's like they set it up where you're going, the place to live and work for like a month. And then they have activities to bring people together, but you can join, not join. And then they have extras that you can pay for. And that's like a set period of time that you're going with them. The other one that I found that I like, it's called Outside, and it's co-living locations that they have all over the world. And it's almost like a hostel for adults, but you have your own room, you have your own bathroom, your own space. There's adults from all walks of life, all ranges. I was just in Colombia and I met an attorney my age from Northern California. Um, so it's kind of it's a great way to meet people. When I was in Ibiza, I stayed at a location with Noma at an outside location. So I kind of was able, so I really like that. And there's people constantly in and out. So you're getting to meet people and see all these different things people are doing. So you're
Yeah,
alone, but not alone.
totally, totally. And typically, how long is the stay in a particular city or country?
So Noma usually does, I like the 4 week stays. They do, I was doing remote year, they're gone. So it's usually 3 weeks to 4 weeks, usually about a 4 week stay. Outside, you can do your own. You can pick a week to a month, depending on what they allow at each location. And there's the lady I met, she's there for 6 weeks. There's somebody there till April. Then there's somebody there for 2 weeks. So you just, with the outside, it gives you more flexibility. With the Noma, it's like 3, 4 weeks at a time, usually is when it goes for and what I usually do. Usually like the 4 weeks at a time. Gives
Okay.
you a chance to,
Give you to get to know the city
yeah,
and culture and kind of settle in. Great.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like really by the time the month is up, you're just actually so getting really familiar with it and it's time to go. You're like, oh, I already know where everything is and it's time to leave now. It's really
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. And then I'm sure obviously it varies city to city and country to country, but let's talk budget a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, what would somebody want to think about budget wise?
I definitely would think so. Budget wise, like for a month to stay, I mean, you could do it depending on what country you're going to. You could do it, I would say 5,000 or less. I mean, depending on the country, you could probably do it for $3,000, maybe less, depending on where you're staying and how you're staying. You could probably do it for depending on it depends on the country and the current and the value of the dollar over there. Colombia was really inexpensive. Like I was
Yeah.
there for 3 weeks. I paid less than $1,000 at the outside location for 3 weeks.
Okay. And
So
that's for board specifically,
that's
not
for board
food.
specifically,
Yeah.
not food
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not anything else. And I will tell
Entertainment.
you, and entertainment and things
Yeah.
like that. But I'll tell you, eating out of the country is far healthier, far less expensive. And in these places, so if you like to cook, the outside locations and all these locations, most of them have like a kitchen. A lot of these people, not me, cook.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. But they do. They have refrigerators, they have kitchens, they have full kitchens. So you're able to go to the grocery store and actually, so you can save a ton of money doing it that way. And it's so much less expensive than buying groceries here. So it's actually less expensive for me to be gone out of the country than it is for me to be
Yeah.
here, is the actual reality of it for the dollar for dollar, what I'm out spending here versus what I'm out spending when I'm gone.
Yeah.
So, and it just depends on the level of what you're staying. I don't stay at hotels because that does become obviously cost prohibitive to do that. I like the co-living situations because they're cost effective and then there's also a community that's there too. So you're not like completely isolated alone and it's very easy to meet people because everybody there is open to meeting people.
Yeah.
So I like those situations where you can kind of, I like to sometimes go off on my own. I like to do my own thing. And people respect that too, because everybody is kind of very obviously independent, but also enjoys doing stuff. So it makes it kind of the best of both worlds.
The question that comes up a lot is, am I too old to do this? Am I too old to be a digital nomad? Talk about how you feel as a 54-year-old woman traveling and are there other women our age traveling like this?
Yeah. And I say, hell no, you're not too old. Get out there and do it. Um, I do see, you do see, it's all ages. Like I said, I just ran into a woman that's my age, which is for me, I have like, my body's 54, but my brain is my spirit is much younger. So I can get along with all age groups. But there are women our age that are doing it. And I keep telling these groups I think there are more women our age that are actually doing it because we're at a stage where our kids are grown, we are able to do it, we have the means to do it, and we're kind of on our own and in these spaces to do it, and we're independent and want to do it. So it's definitely there, and I definitely recommend doing it because otherwise, what are you waiting for? And some of these things I'm doing, I'm like, if I wait another 20, 30 years, I'm not going to actually physically be able to do it. So absolutely. I think you'll meet so many people um, on the road and even in other countries that you'll identify with that are your age that are experiencing the same things that we are. So I absolutely highly recommend it too. And it just changes your perspective, everything, and just reinvigorates you and motivates you for life. I just think that can you forget about all the things that we constantly think about when we're here, especially as entrepreneurs? Our mind is always going. So sometimes you get there and you just kind of let a lot of it go because there's so many things going, and you're like, oh, that's really not as important because I want to do this, and it's not as critical while we're saying, oh, I have to get this done. So I highly recommend it. So I am a legal document assistant. I have a background as a paralegal of over 35 years. So I have my business From We to Me, where I help individuals that don't have attorneys navigate the divorce process with the paperwork, the mindset, and just kind of that support to navigate the process. Um, in addition, I do other legal paperwork, also wills, trusts, estates, anything like that, that people are representing themselves. But primarily, I kind of coach people through divorce and the legal paperwork side of it.
And how have your clients reacted to this? And do you even tell them?
So I don't say anything. I typically
Okay.
don't say anything. I let them kind of figure it out if they do, because nobody knows really whether I'm sitting here in Temecula or whether I'm in Medellin or whether I'm in Japan, unless they either see it or I say something. I try um, it's the time zone that
Yeah.
definitely gets tough. But I make it work, right? So I just try as long as I am available. So what I do is I kind of keep my work schedule. Like I get up in the morning, I do, it's sometimes kind of nice. I feel like I get the jump on things because I can get work done. Um, but then scheduling calls, I will try and make myself, I have to find that window depending on where I am, where I can actually make calls and things like that. So I definitely try and do that or I'll ping them back. Um, so definitely there's times where sometimes I won't answer for a few hours and then I'll get up and I'll do things. So that I think that's the biggest struggle, but I do, I don't hide it. I find that people are inspired by it. People see my travels and they're inspired by it. It's like if I can do this, you can do it, and it's inspiring to them. So all the feedback I get is very positive about it. They're excited for me. They love it. Because I'm getting the work done. I mean, it's not interfering with anything. So I get very positive feedback. Everybody's always like, "Oh, where are you?" And sometimes they'll ask, "Are you? Where are you?"
Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Exactly, exactly. But
That's amazing.
so it is. So I find that it's inspired, but I do. I try not to say anything because I want people don't always understand. They do tend to think you're on vacation and they're not working, even though I am working and doing stuff. So I'm always like, I'm working. I really am working, I promise. It may not look like it, but I definitely do. And I feel like it's inspiring. It's helpful to be around other people that are working as well. Yes.
Since COVID, you've been
Since
to
COVID, yes.
10 or so countries
Yes.
for about a month at a time-ish. I mean,
Yes.
that's pretty significant. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I am very grateful to be able to do it, and it helps, teamwork makes the dream work. My sister is a flight attendant, so that has definitely helped enable at least the transportation getting there. I have to be very strategic because it definitely is not for everybody because it's standby. It's not ideal. I love it. I think it's great. But I'm in a place I can do it. So yeah, and there's definitely ways. I mean, there's also travel hacks and different things for flights. And if you really research flights, there's different ways to, I hear people finding flights and things all the time that are far less than if you just go and look at the three big producers out there, three big whatever companies. There's other flights out there. So you just have to be strategic about when you go too. I tend to go when it's not busy season. That's the other thing is timing when you go. I don't go when everybody's out of school in the summertime, midsummer. I'm not going then.
Yeah.
Even if I'm, buying my own flights, whatever, because I always it's less expensive if you're on shoulder season. Now you also have to check the weather, make sure you're not there like during a hurricane season or things like that. But I tend to like it when it's like the whole world's not there and it's a little less quiet because there's still a lot of things going on. It's not like it's closed. There's still a lot of travelers things going on.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you for your time, Jody. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for doing this. All right. So good to see you.